Hey guys, welcome back to Thrifted Up, episode 4. Today I'm going to go over how to clean up some stainless steel that might not clean up so easy. If you watched my other video, you see I got this guy. This is a food saver, and this is stainless. It's supposed to be stainless, but it is stainless. But if you've ever tried to clean these, you notice they're scratched. It's almost impossible to clean them because they put a clear coat over this. And why they do that, I don't know. Maybe they're using a cheaper grade of stainless or something. But anyways, they clear coat them. So you can't just use a cleaner to clean it. You need to get in on the finish. And to do that, you need a few things, which I have learned from doing woodworking, basically. If you think about doing woodworking, they usually put like a varnish on, and this is kind of like a varnish, but not really. And it's the same thing as like cars too. Cars have a clear coat on them. Well, that's what this is. And to do that, there's different ways of cleaning them up, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this guy. So I've cleaned this up once, and I've shined it up a little, and I'm going to do it again just because I want to try and get a few more scratches out of it. And clean it up, buff it up one more time, and show you how I do it here. So hang tight, we'll get started. Alrighty, so here's all you're going to need. And I apologize I don't have the packaging for it, but this is steel wool. And this is quadruple aught, or 0000 grade. So it's I believe it's the finest steel wool you can get. It's really thin, tiny little filaments, so you need that, and I've used that a little, so it's all kind of bunched up. And then this stuff, this is Meguiar's. It can be any Swirl Remover. This is a car polish, and like I said, it doesn't have to be this brand, but it can be Swirl. It's basically a Swirl Remover, which is kind of a semi-abrasive compound to shine your car up. So those are the two things you'll need, so let's get started. Alright, so if you can see here, I got a bunch of little fine scratches here. And like I said, this is the second time I'm going over this. You don't want to get too aggressive with it, because it is a finish, and you can take it all down to bare metal if you want, but you probably don't want to do that. There's probably a reason why they put this clear coat on there. But for most people aren't gonna beat the crap out of this. It's gonna sit in the cabinet, and they're gonna use it a couple times and wash it and be done with it. So here's your quadruple aught steel wool, and you're just gonna start rubbing it down. And if you can see there, it's starting to get kind of a haze to it. That's you taking the finish off. So you want to be kind of go on even long strokes. Be extremely, well, you don't have to be super careful with this, but you just don't want to overdo it. Like I said, you'd like to keep as much of that finish on there as you can. You know, if they put it on there from the factory, there's probably a reason why they wanted it on there. Sometimes, believe it or not, stainless steel does rust. It can rust. A lot of times it doesn't, but depending on what kind of steel it is, it could rust. So I don't know what kind of stainless this is, but there's a possibility that it could rust. So you just want to try and keep this as even as you can. And nice long strokes, and I'm gonna rub a little more here because this is where most of my scratches are. I don't know if you might be able to see them. And then you gotta watch out for the edges too. You gotta try and get all your edges, because sometimes it's kind of tough, and you don't wanna hit your plastic on this either, because you'll mar the plastic up too if you hit it. But I'm just going to keep doing this, and I'll show you about how long I do it. Otherwise I just cut the video here and show you the next step, but kind of want to give you an idea of how long it takes for me to do this, or what I think it should be. So I'm getting the front here, and that really doesn't need much, but and around these lettering and stuff, you probably won't be able to get inside there. It's not a big deal. That's not really what we're worried about. Alright, so I'm going to call that good. So I spent, what, a couple minutes on that? So now we've got our swirl remover and just a basic paper towel. First off I'm going to wipe this off, because that steel wool ends up leaving a bunch of little, it breaks apart and it leaves a bunch of little pieces of itself everywhere. So there's our cloth. Just pull it up and just put a little bit of that on there and then swirl away. So what we're doing here is we're basically mimicking like a buffer on a car buffer. I mean, this isn't, of course, if you had a little buffer, like they make the little tiny buffers, you could do this in a few seconds. But most people probably don't have a buffer sitting around. I do, but I got a huge one, and it's way too big for this guy, so. So once again, I'll just keep rolling because I want to show you guys about how long it takes here. And on the edge here, I'm just going to go back and forth. So what this car polish is doing, or so what our goal here is, so with that steel wool we basically sanded the finish, is what it comes down to. And then this polish here is sanding it again, but at a much finer compound level. So what that's going to do is that's going to take out, it's like going from a coarse grit sandpaper to a heavy grit sandpaper. That's pretty much all they're doing when they're buffing your car, is they're just gradually going to finer and finer compounds to sand your finish out so it looks shiny, nice and shiny. It's the same thing you do with wood products too. So there we go. I got it kind of buffed out, good enough to where I think it'll be. Clean all that finish off of there. I'm going to get a new paper towel here. And you kind of got to buff it a little bit too when you do this. And as you can see, I didn't get all my scratches out there. I don't know if you can even see them, but they're a little better than they were. And a lot better than it was when I first picked it up. So what we have now is our original finish, just a little less of it, but it should be more than enough to protect it the way they wanted it to be protected. And then we got a lot of our deep scratches out, and I mean you can still see some of them, but it's better, like I said, than it was. So there we go. I don't know what that took, not even 5 minutes, and our stainless looks 10 times better on that guy. I mean, you can still see scratches, but those are such fine little scratches. And I got my lighting just right so you can see them on the camera, which is amazing. But so there we go. That's how I clean up stainless on some of these food savers. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Subscribing's always cool. Excuse me. And feel free to comment. If you think of something I might be able to do for you, let me know. I can always make videos on whatever I can do or have available to me. So until next time, take it easy and get out there and find some crap at the thrift store. So Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.